Good evening, everyone, and welcome to class. It's a minute after 5 p.m. and we'll be having our executive just this evening. Please, party chairman, your members, the class attendants. We still have a very chat your people, chat your members, your group members, let them join the class. We'll give 4 minutes for people to join in so we can have a sizable number and then we'll start. Names in the chat box, mute your mics, and welcome to class once again. Okay. Please, party chairman, get your members, get your members, get your members. The attendance is still quite low, but I guess we just start and others can join in. So like I said before, our facilitator, the executive director himself, Mr. Kunle Lawal, and he'll be taking us on psychology of politics. You're welcome, sir. The floor is yours. Edie, are you there?
Good day, Lisa. Good day, everyone. How's everything? As usual, it's a pleasure to be here. You guys, thanks for taking out time. Like Lisa said, highly surprised that the attendance is this poor. And I remember we told party chairman that they should be in charge of ensuring that people attend. I'll say something clearly, that the Electoral College at any point in time is not ashamed to graduate 5. That will not be on us. I think we've done enough for a lot of people. So Lisa, when you are going to send your final listing, I hope I will not see 72 names graduating. Yes. It seems Lisa has disappeared. Maureen, are you there?
I'm here, Edie. Noted. Noted.
Yeah, I don't want to see any 72 names, or it always happens in one way that I'll start seeing continues. But from what I've seen from class, it's disappointing, but I'm grateful for the kind of people of politics. Now, most people kind of think that effectively just a course, or their definition of politics is anyway, and then we just jump into politics. That's what most people think it is, but necessarily that's not what politics is. A lot of us tend to think that what we parade as politics, or what we how would I put it, the charade around for what politics actually is. So over your course of classes, you've had to the nitty-gritty into what is called the psychology of politics. And I would like to lay I'll tell you 5% of is not easy. Have tried to come up from under their father's wings and probably aren't succeeding at it. You just know of the 1 or 2 that have succeeded at it, and everybody shouts, they're giving it to their children. But it's like any other business. If you're going into, let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're going into I'm sure you're well aware that a lot of movie stars have justified the parameters in that. Same with business, same with a lot of other things. I take the job result. Remember, I'll use your class elections as a model. So basically, politics thrives off the unpredictability that's the unpredictability of politics, thrives off the predictability of the electorate. I hope you guys get this. The unpredictability, the unpredictability of politics is based on the predictability of the electorate. And I hope you guys get this while we're having this conversation. And for me, if you can understand that, you understand everything and how everything works. So what determines the unpredictability of politics is the predictability of the electorate. So I'll give you an example. You guys had an LG debate recently. I just want to keep it small and keep it at home. You guys had an LG debate recently. And during those LG debates, I'm sure and can bet now, if I asked everybody in the room, you came to that debate, holding one manifesto or one type thing that you were going to read, and then you wanted to come and read and vote. And now that is a problem. So what you actually didn't see was that, okay, this is ED. ED doesn't do things contemporarily. So ED will be doing things in a way that you probably wouldn't expect. And the questions will come from, if I'm ready to open them, just a few things that I jotted and put together at the end before the class. But you rather predicted that it would just be a normal debate, which is, okay, hello, how are you? We're going to do debate. I'll just put my manifesto forward. I'll just say anything I want to say, and then that will happen. But that was not what happened. You were given a question that took you totally outside your manifesto and your thought process. Do you want to know why I knew you would behave like that? It's the predictability of the electorate. So there's an assumption the electorate has of what politics actually is. And once you know that, you can virtually determine how the electorate responds to things. Like a politician will come as somebody that is in power, who is apparently, and I need to show this other side, who is apparently afraid of the electorate. But when it comes to you, he's not afraid. And he tells you, there may be somebody who say, let's use Nigerian context now. Let's say somebody will just say, man, we're behind a Labour Party. Now, Labour Party will vote. Labour Party, just party without structure. Are you serious? You want to win an election? You go back home and start saying, and then he'll tell you a vote for Labour Party is a win for PDP or a win for APC. And then you go back home and start thinking, this is somebody that is going to eventually try to snatch votes, trying to involve himself in ballot box running, or trying to do something that you naturally wouldn't expect in politics. But he sold you that idea because he knows deep down in your heart, number one, you've not read enough about politics to understand how it works. Number two, you think whatever he says is right because he has won an election. And that's not necessarily true. So it's not a mystic science also. And then this has been made elusive to give the game of power its mystery and fear. Now, if the game of power didn't have mystery and fear, what will happen is more people will go into politics and the elite will never have its own direction on how things work and how they don't work. So this mystery is fully shrouded in what exactly it needs to be, in what exactly it wants to do. It understands, so it creates that mystery. Man, you can't run for office if you don't have money. You can't do this if you don't have this. You can't do that if you don't have this. You can't do this if you don't have this. And that is what all of us have built ourselves around. Now I'll go to the next slide. So here you have a chart, and then it shows you what exactly is in politics. So politics, as this wasn't just something that was done averagely with numbers. My own campaign was looked into, and a few other campaigns were looked into when doing this. So we found out that exactly what it takes, and even with campaigns that got into office, and then campaigns that didn't, like. So we looked at it. The biggest thing that matters in politics is actually influence. And the only way to influence things is to dictate the minds of the average Nigerian. Now, how do you influence their minds? A great scientist once said that, and he was Scottish. He said, give me the folklores of a civilization and I will dictate their laws. What this indirectly means is that give me the things the society pays attention to, and I can dictate their thought process within the system. So what are our folklores right now? Twitter, Facebook, social media, news, Arise, AIT, channels, blogs you are used to, influencers who are paid to do paid to look, tell you things that make you look in a particular way. So if I can influence Arise TV, I can influence bloggers or influencers or whatever you call them. If I can influence Twitter and Facebook, I apparently will have you exactly where I want you to be in politics. So the biggest thing in politics that matters is not money, it's actually influence. And influence is 40% of that. Next will be money. Money is needed for paid ads. Of course, we're at a revolutionary age. Money is needed for chatbots, needed for a lot of things. Like during your campaigns, I thought one of the most brilliant things I think I saw was by the NNPP, was it? And I think they have an entire Twitter handle dedicated to their party in the Electoral College. And I must give kudos to the NNPP for doing this. I think this is virtually a very ingenious thing to do. And the college is very proud. I think the college followed it. 10th cohort NNPP party. And I'd like to give you absolute kudos to that. And for me, that is you taking it to the next level and generating influence. People want to say, okay, what's the Electoral College doing? What is NNPP in 10th cohort? I even noticed somebody writing on that and saying, oh, it's just an assignment. And, it kind of blew the thing. So money is necessary. We're going back to money. Money is necessary, for the tools that make things happen in politics. I'll give you an example. Most people say, okay, on election day, tight day. I'll tell you, on election day in Abuja, Abuja has 62 wards. I know if I asked that question to the people that ran for AMAC, they probably might have missed that. So Abuja has 62 wards, 12 in AMAC, 10 in the other 5. And at that point, you get to you find out that 62 wards having about close to, I think it has 962 polling units. So 962 polling units puts us at about, if I had, anyway, averagely, the sum was about 52 million. And giving 52 million out would be settling, things that are necessary. Now we might say bad politics. Yes, I didn't have 52 million, so of course I couldn't give it. But when you look at it, you ask yourself the relevant questions that because we have made this a culture, it has become a norm. And because it has become a norm and a culture, that culture is a way of life, which is of course dictated by the things we pick that are something that we've accepted we can't do without. It doesn't mean you have to do that to win an election. I still did well without having that, but that's another kettle of fish and another story. But money also is needed for billboards. I think the average billboard when I was running for office was at a cost that's per month of 1.2 million. There were those that we could get for 800,000. So between 800,000 and 1.2 million, and your billboard is just up for a month. There's t-shirts, all those cost money. Next one will be comms. Now, comms we put at 11% of the general circle of the game of politics. Now, communication is key. I noticed kind of predictable SDP, PDP, APC, go for this. Nothing actually key. Just the usual thing that you guys are being sold in by other political parties in real life, and nothing ingenious or directional in trying to get to that. So there begs the question that are we ingenious with politics, or have we built a culture within us that has been taught to us by other politicians that we must follow, which must dictate the way we operate, even in the Electoral College that is trying to teach you to be better? And, I didn't see the kind of comms that, so for free, I'll tell you something. I'll do this off the top of my head. So let's play a little bit. Presidential candidates in Nigeria. Let's look at the so-called top 4. That's Kwankwaso Atiku, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Peter Obi. So if I were in Atiku's camp, my comms will look like this. The vice president is the head of the economy. Most of the people running for office right now, except that are within the top, served under my government or enjoy the dividends of what I did after my government, which indirectly means that as the head of the economy, the reason Bola Tinubu thrived in Lagos was because I was head of economy. Or anybody that goes to go and sell this to PDP, I'll knock your head. And anybody that's not starting this class. So now that's an idea of how comms should go. Now, if I were Tinubu of Lagos, I would say a commercial city, 25 million Nigerians. I've held this. I've held it. I've built it to what it is. I didn't build it before. They were great men before, but the job of its continuity has been vested in my hands. And of all the people that are running right now, I'm the only person that still remains relevant politically in my state, fully, and also nationally. And this has helped me to be the next probable president. That comes for Tinubu. Now for Kwankwaso, the North has always been a key factor in deciding things. I have been instrumental to education in the North, and a Hausa man has never been president. Key for him comes. Back to Peter Obi. What I've done in business, I've done in politics. I have shown I am a Nigerian, inside or outside power. I've refused to use the materials or be part of the corruption that has existed. This is the kind of Nigeria you would want to have. Now, this comes for the 4 candidates so that you understand the kind of messages that should emanate. Now, our direction of comms in Nigeria has always been something that we've totally gotten lost at. So our direction of comms has always been, you know what, PDP held power for 16 years. What have they done? Labour Party has never held power, so we are not part of the corruption. It's totally, I don't know. For me, I find it quite a headache to listen to all these guys. Or, somebody would say on Monday, Tinubu created the Third Mainland Bridge. On Tuesday, he created a core Atlantic City. On Wednesday, he made Ambode governor. On Thursday, he removed Ambode as governor. On Friday, he created Ekpe. On Saturday, he decided to declare for office. That's kind of, I'm not saying anybody said that, please, but I'm saying those are the kind of, that's how it sounds, the kind of communications that emanate from political campaigns. And these are people that, I expect a lot better from, because I kind of know most of them across the major parties, and the kind of communications that have been emanating. Nobody is saying, okay, this is the 2023 budget. We will meet like a quarter of it in office. This is what we intend to do to stabilize Nigeria preceding 2020, before the 2024 budget is out. This is what we'll handle, and this is how we're going to handle it. This is where we're going to go. This is where we're going to go. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody is saying, okay, you know what? Let's even do this. Every candidate has decided to write a manifesto. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do something. I'm going to take in people's opinion, and my manifesto is going to be of the Nigerian people. Nobody has asked that question. Nobody's playing on that. So your comms matter. And I've played around comms and strategy. I need to say the strategy is 25% of it. So strategy actually dictates the kind of communication that's going to emanate from your campaign. So hence the 2 parameters. So I've been discussing comms, but I've jumped into strategy. And comms and strategy are very much related, because it's from the strategy. So what's your target? What are the number of the electorates that are under 50 in this election? Okay, approximately over 50% right now in this election. Are they going to participate? What stops them from participating? How are we going to do it? Why is it women are part of political campaigns, but now when it comes to elections, the number of women that vote drops? So it means that maybe approximately, predictably, what might be responsible for that factor, and this is strategy, what might be responsible for that factor might be breastfeeding mothers or mothers taking care of children that can't go out and vote. Okay, so what can I do? Can my campaign, in conjunction with an NGO under an umbrella, provide a small room for caregivers so that mothers can come, drop their kids' votes and then, do that? That's more interesting than getting more polling agents. You have more women coming into the game, and then, vice versa, and, so many kinds of things. And now you'll be able to move the politics and the game forward. But like I said, you guys cannot be lifting what I'm telling you right now. It costs a lot of money. Thank you. So that's how we look at it. So influence, money, comms, and strategy. become important in the psychology of politics. Now, the myths about politics, and I need us to go over this because a lot of people tend to think that politics is the way they think it is. So politics is for a few. That is not true. We've put beyond reasonable doubt, and within the Electoral College, we've seen clearly that politics fairly isn't for a few. It's for the few that choose to brace the wind. Everybody wants to be an ostrich in the sand. Nobody wants to be a lion or a hyena trying to get something to eat. Everybody rather be an ostrich in the stand, pick up a few grains, peck like chickens. And the truth is, politics is not for a few. I was talking to somebody the other day, and somebody was saying, I was saying, okay, what do you guys think of the Constitution? And somebody was saying, we have lawyers here. And I was like, no, Constitution does not belong to lawyers. And we need to get that clear. Constitution belongs, it's the holy book of you being a citizen. And we need to understand this thing. Now, politicians are special. Well, I think I'm living proof that they're not special. It's nothing to them. They're just everyday people like me and you. They get angry, they eat, they do everything else. A few of them are smart, that you can't take from them. Or quite a whole lot of them are smart because they need to deceive you guys. But apart from that, I mean, there's nothing special about politicians, really. Now, politics is local. Now, this is something key. Now, what this actually means, politics is local, does not mean go to the grassroots and give them rights. The definition of politics is local means that the distance between you that is wanting to ask for a position and the electorate should not be much, meaning politics is local. You must be interactive with your constituents, with your electorate. You must be interactive with them. That's what politics is local means, not the Nigerian definition, which we have turned upside down and created a whole thing. Now, politicians know the game. Now, this is a funny thing. Most of us think politicians know the game. I'll give you an example. NSAS. So during NSAS, I had the opportunity of sitting down with a few people, some serving in the House, in National Assembly, in different levels. And they were like, wow, these guys with NSAS. And this guy was really complaining. He was a younger House of Rep, and he was really complaining. And the other one said, no. That if they really wanted to do something that would topple this government, they would have recalled us. Instead, they decided to start standing on the streets. They would have recalled us, which was fully democratic and would have had nothing to do about it. Said so, they are not serious. Do you understand that the people that are in power, they might seem stupid, but they understand the game better than you? I was at dinner with one of Cross River's most important politicians, and he was like, "Kunle, what you're doing is exemplary. It's done even in politics is exemplary." He said, "But I need you to understand something." And I was, me, my full arrogance. I know Constitution, I know law, I've run for Senate. It was 2019, I just finished, so my head was swollen a little bit. I was like, well, what's this guy going to tell me? And then he says to me, we took power from our fathers who hadn't seen the city well. They used to ride bicycles. They didn't have degrees. He said, Kunle, I need you to know that we schooled abroad. And we had the best teachers. So we even had white teachers when we're in Nigeria. Said, you want to take power from us? You guys got to do more. Man, all of a sudden, that dinner, everything that was available to eat tasted bitter. I'm not naturally one to put in a box and, somebody just checks me with a few words. But trust me, if you expand that in your head, you're going to finally understand that we have not yet understood what we are up against. We're totally not aware, which is why that generation, which this politician was inside at for age 40, had governors and DGs at their age. Next is the electorate are smart. Now, this is the biggest mistake anyone can make. No offense. The electorate anywhere in the world are not smart. They are moved and easily swayed by, whatever it is. They're like social media, the way one trend will just come up, hey, and everybody follows this way, hey, and everybody follows this way. And in the end, what exactly were you fighting about again? Everybody seems to have forgotten. Well, that electorate and smart. So politics and governance are the same. I don't need to go over this. We've spoken about this in earlier classes. Politics and governance are definitely not the same. And that is one of the mistakes we make in politics. We mix politics and governance. So when people are supposed to be governing, they're playing politics. And when they're supposed to be playing politics, they try to use the tools of governance to play politics, which is a whole confusing simulation. Now, political parties have no ideology. Now, this is totally not true. I've been part of starting about 3 parties. My interactive parties come. I can tell you what basic parties. APC is more like the how would I put them? They believe more in kind of, I want to say communist. Communist is not exactly what I want to say, but they believe in more higher government involvement in the functionality of a country. PDP is more capitalist. They let go of things that government already controls. A party like the SDP is agrarian in nature. NNPP, I've had a look at their constitutions. It's slight between capitalist and government interventions. And so if you look at the constitution of the basic makeup of a political party, it tells you where the party stands on its thought process. Now, do they follow it? That's another question. But for now, they do have an ideology. The constitution is a problem, is one of the key things we have been sold by people that have never read the constitution. So I've had this conversation with quite a lot of people. And they just open their mouths and just talk anyhow. And in the end, you get to see a lot of funny stuff. And the truth is that I hope that over the course of this class, I know Lisa, there's a topic on the constitution, and I'll be taking that class, and I'll be opening up a few things you don't know about your constitution and what is necessarily needed for Nigeria to move forward. Grassroots are the problem. The funny thing is that the problem anywhere in the world is that grassroots are the so-called grassroots are the problem in politics. But the truth is, what happens in other countries is that the middle class and the elite stand for something. Now, the circumvention of democracy by the middle class causing the biggest problem is Nigeria's problem. Middle class doesn't stand for anything. It's the one that collects money to do posters. It's the one that tells you political parties have no ideology. Yet it's the one that wrote the constitution of the political parties that is saying it have no ideology, etc., etc., etc. The list is endless. So for me, the problem in Nigeria is the middle class, and that's where the major problem is. But that, of course, is another long conversation. Now, the realities, the middle class. Wow, I wrote this, but I didn't know I wrote actually the middle class circumvents democracy. So I just explained that the middle class circumvents democracy. We've gone over the local government, and in other classes, local government is kidnapped by the state, which is why democracy does not trickle down. I've always said it, local government is the first handshake of democracy to the people. And let's also remember that the electorate too does not participate. Does not participate in elections. The highest we've had in local government elections is about 7% of the voting population participating in the state. And that's poor. Now, the National Assembly and the State House of Assembly are asleep. We don't need to have that discussion. It's clear that all they are interested in is constituency projects, which are totally unconstitutional. Now, the players and not parties are the problem, and that's the real problem in Nigeria. So the players are the people who are playing. So I always give an example with football when I'm discussing this. So you look at I'm an Arsenal fan. I would say, okay, we're on top now, so it's not good to use us. Man U now, that team that's losing, or Chelsea, they are very good at losing right now. You're a fan and you just like, now everybody wants to say, change everybody, change this, change that. But the truth is, most of the time when you change the coach, you get something different. We're trying to look at what Hag is doing in Man U. For those that watch football, he's watching Ronaldo. I hope the team doesn't spiral into a downturn from now. But anyway, a good class of what the coach is doing well is Arteta with Arsenal. Hello. So that's enough. Okay, I just wanted to joke a little bit. Now, accountability is holistic and not to government alone. Now, I'll ask you a question. When you were learning to drive, did you actually get your driver's license? Did you actually do what needs to be done? Do you actually move for what? Do you actually follow laws of Nigeria? Are you standing by lots of things? You're not. And because you are not, a lot of people aren't. So Nigeria cannot stand as a functional country or cannot be accountable when you in that store in a government parastatal is allocating laptops for your slave queens and your friends and whatever. Yeah, you can't continue like that and say, it's my own part of the national cake, other people are doing it. When all of you other people are doing it together, do you know how much it takes from national cake in Nigeria? but we never consider that it's kind of easy to mortgage our responsibilities and blame other people. Now, the cost of governance is high, and we're very key with that in Nigeria. Cost of governance is massively high. We need to cut it down. Nigeria has over 1,500 MDAs, as ministries, departments, and agencies. And then you find yourself with, even if you're just looking at cars alone, these are people that change bulletproof cars every 2 years, kind of. Looking at money that is being stored in DTA, misappropriated funds, is crazy. Now, most politicians and the electorate are ignorant. That I need to tell you. I'm sure most of you, before you join this class, you're seeing a lot of simulations and a lot of things that you naturally would have thought didn't exist. And then, but now it's coming to light. And I think we even need to get a part 2 of this course, because this just is a foundation. It's not advanced. And we need to be able to take these conversations up. I don't know what the Electoral College, I don't know what Lisa has up her sleeves. Maybe Lisa can instigate us to do an advanced course, which most people can be a part of. Now, politics is in governance. I had to say this a lot, and that's one of the major problems in our system. Now, tenacity wins elections. Most people will say it's money, is this, is that, but it's tenacity, the ability to keep doing what you're doing, and doing it well. Your name will continue expanding. It's like that in every country. Nobody just gets it up. Yeah, there are a few lucky ones, but it never just happens as you want it to happen. Now, in conclusion, I'll tell you this. Countries are defined by territorial boundaries, while nations are people unified by an ideology. My question is, so what's missing in Nigeria? Thank you very much, and I'll be looking forward to questions. Hello, is anybody there? Hello, Maureen, are you there? Lisa, it seems everybody has gone on break, kind of. Hello? No, you are here. I'm talking of Lisa and Maureen.
Yes, I'm here.
Where did all of you go? I finished the class now. Where were all of you? Okay, so since
You're still talking.
You taught. Okay, thank you very
much. Sorry, Edie. Yeah, thank you for the lecture. So as usual, if you have questions, please indicate with a show of hands.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to check through the chat box, but there are no questions there.
And I'll mute online.
Anyway, Edie, as usual, you forward. Well, one hand is raised. Olaide, please, you can go ahead and ask a question.
Yeah, thank you very much,
okay, thank you very much.
for the insight. So we're grateful for that and the opportunity. Yeah, my question will speak to, of course, I observed that looking at the Presidential Campaign Council, the spokesman, deputy, and what have you of them, quite a number of them have background in media and they know the ethics of the work. But each time they are given privilege to speak on radio or TV, they don't speak to issue and say their candidate as expected. Rather, either they are bashing other candidate or talking about the irrelevant issue. The question will now be that to what extent people with background in media and communication coming to the reality, does that imply what they are saying is what Nigeria want to listen to, or they should speak to the issue and say the manifesto of their presidential candidate? Thank you.
Thank you. So the way I look at it, like if you watch the Arise debates, and no offense to CDB, but for me it's a sham, and I've said this on TV. It's a sham. I'm disappointed. I believe people in media should be the most distant from politics and governance because number one, they don't even know. They just listen, get people to talk, and it sounds like rubbish. No offense, no disrespect, but a good example is even our Minister of Information and those who have been former minister. I think the last good Minister of Information I remember is Franklin Wike Jr. and then Dora Akinyubi. Apart from that, these are people who don't even have a core background in media, but were made ministers of information. For people in media, I am of the belief, and even as the Electoral College plans its gubernatorial debates in 6 states, in 6 regions in Nigeria, one of the key things is that no one in media would be allowed to host or ask questions. We believe the media has, because of its poor knowledge of political literacy, has undermined politics generally. They think what happens in their studios is what politics is. You just call one APC dog and one PDP dog and they start backing at each other. No offense to whoever it is, I'm not calling them dog, but the sound is so loud that you barely get any content out of it. And that's how I tend to see it. So for me, the media is one of those that helps disorient what politics and governance is. Thanks.
Okay, awesome. Any other questions?
There's one in the chat box, and I've read it. Favor Broderick says,
Okay,
please,
I can
sir,
see
can
2
you
hands up. 3 hands now.
Okay. Let me
So
take
please,
the
you
one
can
in
go
the
ahead.
box first.
Okay, you want to take the one in the chat box first. All right, so.
Yeah, so please, sir, can you expatiate on middle people being an issue? Because I still think we are all issues as regards politics. You see, the truth is that in politics, the middle class apparently is the largest. Now, by the middle class, most people translate it economically. The middle class in politics are those that can read and write. They're massive, they're big number, and they're the problem. They don't make decisions, they support pockets and wallets, and they're ready to write any nonsense to do things. They're the ones that even carry food to the grassroots. You see the big politicians in remote settlements giving rice. I saw something today, which was, when it was a candidate who actually has done something flakes, and it was red and white, like Christmas colors, and I was like, what is this where these guys are going to go to? And, it's highly shocking how low we're ready to go politically. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Edie. Quado Benedicta, please, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Hello, can you hear me? Good evening. I don't know if you can hear me, so I'll just ask the question. Okay.
Yes, I can
My
hear you.
question is, during the course of the lecture, you said
I said what? Well, she's gone. I can't hear her. She's gone. I can't.
Yeah, I think her network. Okay, Andrew
Yes.
Stephen, please go ahead.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
gain back their.
Good evening.
Hello. Okay. Yeah.
Good evening.
The last question you answered, you made mention of the media trying to be part of the mislead for the grassroots and the middle class, which are actually supposed to be bedrock of the politics and all of that. So I want to know, isn't the Okay, if they are playing their role as media now, inviting some of these politicians and some other big stakeholders in the politics to just come and maybe share insights and enlighten the community and individuals about probably their what they have and then what they think way forward and all of that. So, and isn't that a good thing to actually bring these people, because the people outside, just like what the Electoral College is doing now, this is an enlightenment, and then a lot of people are actually having a broader knowledge about the politics and all of that right now. Yes, sir.
Andrew.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
When you watch any political program, are you enlightened?
Quite a few. We're enlightened about quite a few.
You know what I mean by you're enlightened. I'm not saying totally you are not enlightened. What I'm saying is on average, they dispel rubbish more than they enlighten. And therein is the problem. So I don't want to continue dragging on this and the media. And I know how many times I've had to correct people that have been on TV or radio with on what exactly is, because they don't, I'll be honest with you, they don't know the adequate information. This is no offense to anybody, but trust me, I've been on TV a lot and I know what I have to say most of the time. And it gives me quite a big headache having to lay down the basic foundation of a lot of things politically. But like I said, if you don't know, how are you going to even ask when politicians are in the room? Like I give you an example. Shion Oki was with the senator the other day, and he was kind of alluding because the guy was talking about constituency projects, and he refused to ask him how many bills he had passed. Shion Oki refused to even tell him that, look, okay, come, this constituency projects, it's non-constitutional. Why are we still spending money on it? And those are the right questions. And if the media is not ready to do that job, what is going to happen is that the electorate will never think in that way. And if the electorate never thinks in that way, it keeps a circle of rubbish going on and on, round and round.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Andrew. Elijah, please, you can ask your question.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Edie. Good to see you again.
Chairman.
Okay, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask something, sir. Because of the lecture, you said something about that it's momentum and consistency that makes the candidate win. Like maybe trying again and trying again. You said it's not just one year. So the question I have to ask is, in America, Barack Obama to try once and become president of America, first black president, first Afro-American president, and Donald Trump, who have no business initially with politics or diplomacy, just came straight from the business world, very blunt, and tried and convinced people and became the president. But here in Nigeria, we have someone like Anatiku that has been in space since the days of Abiola, kept trying and trying and trying, because he cannot get it. So the question is, why do you think it's so? Do you think it's not just lucky or his strategy or the timing or something? I just want to understand the dynamics of this.
Elijah, when I was talking, it seems you caught one part. I said in most situations, it's tenacity that wins election. But there's no absolute in any of this. And we need to understand it. There's no absolute. So most of the time, like in an Obama situation, he's been a senator and he spoke well at the Democratic Convention, which of course keyed in. And because he was black, it kind of rose. Donald Trump came to run at a time when they felt, the Democratic Party had enough time. And that's how Americans feel sometimes. Okay, we'll get a Republican. So whoever becomes the Republican candidate eventually becomes the president. Trump was just lucky at being at that mid-time. And not necessarily because he was good. So what I'm trying to say is that it's tenacity that wins elections. It necessarily doesn't mean you should run multiple times. What I'm trying to say is that you must put in enough. I'll give you an example. The average young guy that runs for office, he just wakes up 2 years to election, hasn't been to his village, hasn't mixed with people. It doesn't necessarily mean you must put borehole, you must this, but there should be a conversation between you and the electorate. You just appear, and then in 2019, it was even more shocking, not too young to run. Some people just realized they were from some villages and they can run and they got tickets. It doesn't work that way. And these guys will disappear doing nothing for the next 4 years and then want to run for office. It doesn't work that way.
All right, Lily. Okay, Benjamin, please you can unmute and ask your question.
Okay, good evening. Just a quick one. I just want to find out, like, those of us in diaspora who are interested in joining politics in Nigeria, and what's the best way you suggest we start our political careers back home? Like, for example, I personally had the intention of contesting in the coming election in 2023, but I have some friends back home. After consultation with them, introduction to some people, down to I realized that they're just trying to rip me off of lots of money. So I withdrew. So what's the best way you suggest we go about starting our career in politics back home, so that we don't get ripped off by some of those guys back there? Thank you.
Thank you. This is Benjamin, right? Benjamin. Okay, he's off. Anyway, so for those friends that I have in diaspora that have tried to run for office, like I say, we don't fully know which way is the most probable way. Like you said, rip off. I'll tell you, 80% of the people that want to run for office are usually ripped off by their friends in Nigeria. It's a common trait. And, maybe it's because people don't want to handle and people are not just straight with the way they are. And I don't know. So the best way is probably don't join at the peak of a political race. If you want to run for office, my best advice to you is be part of one political party. Say, okay, I'll be the Nigerian diaspora arm. You will head to country and you'll be running things for them while doing that. And that will be the best thing. And then from there, start to direct how you're going to do it. And for me, that would be the best way to run it. Are you there, Benjamin?
Yes.
So your best time to start will be after the election. Yeah, my best time to start will be after the election in 2023.
Okay, so I think our last question is from Wisdom. Please, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hello. Good evening, Mr. Colleague. All right. Okay. I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
All right. All right. Right now, psychology in governance is somehow how the people or how these politicians get to psych us in believing them, whether they are true or not. And it's just a game.
Sorry, I can't hear you. It's best you type your question. I can't hear you. There's so much sound around you. I can barely hear you.
Yes, you can you make that door for me, please? Yes.
Wisdom, I can't hear you.
It's better explained. So I guess it's much better now. So as I was saying, I said psychology in governance is just the way that politicians get to tell us their story in a way.
I can't hear you. Wisdom, can you move where there is?
Okay. maybe I'll just. All right, I'll just hold on the question. Maybe some other time.
So I think I'm done. I've gone through questions and everything else. Lisa, I believe you have something to do in this class. Lisa, are you there? Hello, Lisa, are you there?
Yes, I am, Edie. Okay, so we'll be presenting the certificate for Xerox right now. He came out as the AMAC chairman for PDP. Congratulations to the whole party. It was a tight one. Yeah, I saw all the party pulled their weight. Well done, everyone. I know how hard you all worked, and good job. Yes, good job. It's a learning curve, so don't feel bad, if your party did not win. We still have other elections coming up, so tighten your belt and put your best foot forward. So yes, congratulations to PDP and Xerox Joshua.
Lisa, you can share their certificate of
the
return.
10th cohort.
And send
Yes,
it to
I'll
their
do that
group later, but you can share it.
Yeah, I'll do that now, Edie. So congratulations, Xerox Joshua, the local government chairman for AMAC local government. Congratulations to the whole party, PDP.
And on behalf of the board of the Electoral College and the region, Xerox Joshua, well done. The PDP, well done. The certificate of return will be sent to your political party. Well done on the job. I'll also like to say this. From Sunday, people should prepare. The gubernatorial elections are next. But hold on, we'll plan that eventually. So I look forward to seeing that campaign, and I assure you it will be different. If your parties really perform low, below 10%, we'll have to merge them with the people that win. I look forward to quite a very great conversation. So you guys, thank you everyone for attending class today. On behalf of the Electoral College, it was always a pleasure to be part of this, and I look forward to seeing you guys again sometime. Thank you very much for listening. Party chairman, remember that you are being watched. We look forward to having quite a set of students there instead of just a few. So I would hand over back to Lisa. I think Lisa is frying Christmas chicken. She has been hard to.
I'm actually driving, Edie.
Yeah. Lisa, don't be funny. I know it's not. I know it's cow you.
I'm not trying to say.
Just me, my own, just send me cow too. That's all. You guys, thank you. I'll hand over to you.
Thank you, everyone. See you in class tomorrow.
You're on the road to carry the killed cow to the house.
Edie.
Okay. Have a lovely evening.
All right. Bye, everyone.